The Kengan vs Purgatory tournament is now over. As such, it's time to rank all 13 fights from best to worst. A reminder to some that this is just my opinion, feel free to let me know your ranking down below. Before beginning, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. At rank 13, I have Alan Wu vs Kure Ryan. It's kinda hard to even call this a fight. The standalone chapter where Ryan ripped Alan in half is probably one of the greatest in all of Kengan Omega, but judging the fight as a whole, not really a fight, a disappointment. Everyone wanted to see the Kengan Omega version of round 2 Ohma vs Ryan, but the Kure vs Wu removal vs removal. Sadly, this fight was just used for setup for Ryan vs Edward, which is currently going on at the recording of my video here. At rank 12, I have Tarashi vs Okibo. Many of you already know my not so kind thoughts on Okibo, but Tarashi as a whole was one of the biggest disappointments of the tournament in my opinion. His fighting style with the Shivering and Emperor's Eye was kinda unique and wacky at times, making it kinda funny, especially the way he dodged, but as a fight, I just really didn't get too hyped reading this one. Rank 12 is Akoya vs Nicholas Ledbanner. I believe this fight could have been one of the best if it didn't get cut short by Rolon and one of them killed the other. But I did enjoy this fight fairly well. I would say from this and all the fights above, I did enjoy them. Just the ones below are definitely on the lowest tier. While these ones are good, I enjoyed reading them week by week. It's just that I need to rank some of them this low to, make actual ranking. But on to rank 10, I have Jurata vs Jaime. Normally, I don't enjoy grappling-based fights in Kengan more than the striking ones, so by default, that kinda lowers the rank of this one. But I did enjoy the later half of the fight when Jaime was getting up instantly after getting slammed on the ground and attacking him. That was pretty cool, and Jaime's striking and overall insanity was pretty badass. Jurata was fairly decent. I did find him a little bit boring, but yeah, a very solid fight. At rank 9, I have Naden vs Ryoki. This one was more so focused on reveals rather than the fight itself, but did have a few badass moments, especially when Ryoki went into kill intent mode. Naden as a whole just trying to choke out Ryoki the whole time, suppressing himself and getting himself killed was jarring at various points. I just wish we got more exchanges during that fight and maybe Naden not throwing the match for other reasons. At rank 8, I have Faye vs Waka. So the majority of this fight was one-sided towards Faye, but Faye was very entertaining to watch, pulling out the insane Nikko style techniques, pulling out his Divine Demon very badass. Waka as well did have a few decent moments, his resolve not to let anyone defeat him in raw strength, the one thing he has, with the final chapter of this fight probably being the best in the whole tournament. The insane art, the blast coil versus maximum output Divine Demon, just next level, amped to the max for the end of that fight. At rank 7, I have Rolon vs Ohma. This fight, the majority of it was back and forth exchanges, Ohma taking the lead, Rolon taking the lead. You could say the most ideal fight, no one being at a clear advantage for the majority. Even though Rolon was portrayed as the stronger one for the most part, the crazy stuff Ohma was pulling out was showing that he is capable of being on par with Rolon. As everyone already knows, the ending isn't the greatest, but Ohma definitely carried the appeal of the fight, and I do think it was pretty solid considering all the fights we got in the tournament. In 6th place, I have Dong Chen vs Nitoku. Another fight that fully focused on exchanges, back and forth, no one really being at a clear advantage. Nitoku being an absolute mad lad with his tankiness, this surviving all these crazy Fajins. Dong Chen using like 4 or 5 techniques. Of course I wanted him to use even more considering the hype that went into him as he's a master of like 5 or 6 styles. With the ending of this fight being very solid, one of the best in the tournament regarding the ending and how they actually concluded their battle and kind of began their friendship, I guess. In rank 5, I have Galang vs Carlos, the opening fight of the tournament. Very hype Sigma walkout from Galang, Carlos shitting on Yumi, which is always welcomed as he walks out. The striking exchanges were great, both of them pulling out multiple striking based styles to get an upper hand over the other. Carlos pulling out his Kapora and then getting pushed to pull out his other East Asian martial arts, fused 3 together, and then Galang pulling out his Muay Thai X-boxing near the end was very hype, but the actual ending of the fight is the biggest downfall with the ring out being kinda Kakuri. I also believe this is one of the fights with the best art. The art throughout the tournament was going kinda up and down. Some had great moments, some had like mid moments with some, peaks. But Galen vs Carlos was solid throughout the whole way in my opinion. At rank 4, I have Kanagito vs Lutien, the battle of the formless users. I enjoyed the art for panels like this, very engaging. Lutien also shocking everyone with his crazy reveals. Being a worm, being a master of formless, perfected formless, then pulling out the Guhan. Then we have Kanagito showing his improvements over the 2 years, connecting his martial arts and formless together, removing the leg, removing the beast within himself. Then the almighty dragon shot to end the fight, probably one of the hypest endings in the whole tournament. At rank 3, we have Misosa vs Yumi. The fight that had the special match where the arena was getting smaller and smaller as the time went on. The start of the fight had pretty cool exchanges, Yumi pulling out his human weapon based abilities, Misosa struggling with his slat a little bit, but then when the ring got smaller, we had the insane combos from Misosa, probably being the hypest combo in the whole tournament where he finished Yumi just hype to the max and actually have the physical volume for that fight. So, flicking through the volume of that fight and that exchange is, extremely high, and I really enjoyed Misosa throughout this fight. Yumi getting shit on is always going to be very enjoyable, as such that is rank 3. In second place, I have Toa vs Julius. As a whole, this fight probably had the best art. I don't know what Doraemon was on, but he decided to amp it up to the max for the whole fight of Julius vs Toa, especially the walkout. Like, the walkout chapter was just honestly next level. Julius having his new move, the Gotshota, Toa having Nico style like techniques, the two big strong boys, the giants of both teams, the titans clashing this, hype to the max. Now we have number 1, 2 characters I'm not really a fan of that much. They're definitely on the lower end of like my ranking for favorite characters, but I'm trying to be unbiased regarding characters, or I'd have like Ryan at the top. We have Falcon vs Rito. Probably the closest fight in the tournament. It has solid art. Falcon with his goofy misdirection, ninja based moves was pretty cool. Seeing Rito's improvement and just overall the exchanges of this fight was very solid and truly a fight of equals going back and forth and very engaging throughout. I recommend everyone to reread this fight to give it, a proper chance. But yeah, that is my ranking for the 13 fights of the tournament. As a whole, I don't think it's better than the Kengan Ashura Annihilation tournament. But it's important to remember, this tournament was just an arc in Kengan Omega, while the cat was the whole of Kengan Ashura. But yeah, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, follow my Twitter to be an absolute mad lad, join the Discord to talk more about Kengan greatness, and as always, shout out to these people who support the channel via the Patreon. But yep, that's it guys. Peace!